the pickup artist on old movie. Robert Downey Jr. and Molly Ringwald. I don't know if I ever saw it, but it has horrible reviews, but so what? Things get horrible reviews and just be fluff. Just be fluff for my mom to watch and escape into, you know. Looks cute enough. I was watching like 5 minutes of it. It'll keep her entertained. Plus, I didn't want her to watch the Voice finale, because then there'll be music, and I want to create this video. I told her we could watch it together, the finale, sometime, which isn't a lie. I will have us do that. I will have us do that. Just not right now when I just got up in the afternoon because I didn't go to bed till 7. Bad. 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 Of course, the Fireball double nips in my drawer over there are bad as well, so. I bought just in case I wanted them. I slept 6 hours, but I had intense, vivid nightmare. Nightmares, but an intense, vivid, one of the most intense, vivid dreams I've ever had. Oh my God. About my own mom. And I didn't even get to see him. Didn't even get to see him. He was still alive. Vivid, weird, one of the weirdest. But you don't have to try to, you know, analyze it, you know. People analyze their dreams and nightmares. There's no, we know exactly what this means. There's no necessary analyzing of this dream to try to decipher its meaning. No. Oh my God. Bad. Not surprising, but bad. Before I tell you about that, though, I just want to preface it with what guy wrote to me and asking me, you know, it's just so shallow and trivial and whatnot under the circumstances. I got an email from him yesterday or the day before. I just wanted to ask you, I don't even know if it says I just want to ask you, this is, it might have just said, do your feet ever smell? Like, leave me alone. I'm not doing good. My baby died suddenly in front of me. Okay, don't ask me shit about my feet smelling. Like, please. Please. Remember, this isn't a comment on my YouTube channel under my videos where I expect questions like that. It's in an email, right? I don't want to hear it. And I've periodically discussed that before, you know. Anyhow. So, nightmare. I just woke up from a little while ago. Then I put a movie on for my mom because she wasn't watching anything else. She'd already watched The Bachelorette, so put a movie on for my mom, so that she wouldn't hear me, not rocket science. So it was in this house, everything vivid, everything the same, except my Omar stays outside apparently. Again, dreams, nightmares, they often don't make any fucking sense at all. It's just your subconscious just fucking with you. So Omar is outside. That's how you train yourself to have lucid dreams, which I first learned about, I believe, in college. I'm not sure, but you train yourself to have lucid dreams by training yourself. You do it in you to recognize things that don't make sense. Okay. So Omar was outside this house, and it was this exact house, in a giant pen outside. Okay. Giant pen. And I went to go get him. I believe I had nightmares before this too. It's not good for me to go to bed at 7 in the morning. And then I was feeling weird because I hadn't eaten that much the day before. And I ate a little bit. It's not good for me to eat right before I go to bed either. But I felt weird and had a headache. Anyhow, it's just, I did not sleep good, even though I slept for 6 hours. I did not sleep good. Not even remotely. And it ended with this nightmare that left me, I had a tear in my eye. You know, I woke up like that. Omar, apparently I was keeping Omar in a giant, like the size of this bedroom, a giant pen outside, and took up my whole front lawn out there, okay? So I went to go check on him, check on my baby, see how he was doing. And a vicious, it wasn't a dog. It was, I recognized a dog versus, it was a vicious wolf. Basically, I peeked over, because remember, if it's a big, giant, high-up pen, and Omar's little, I have to peek in to find him, get him, to hold him. And a wolf, a real live wolf, big wolf, lunged at me, like, when I go to peek over, because I couldn't tell the wolf was in there. And it was like, and I was taken aback. And then I talked to neighbors, not anyone I recognized, just as an aside, but I went to talk to a neighbor, and I was like, what happened? Is Omar still alive? Like, what happened? Why have wolves taken over Omar's pen? Apparently there was more than one wolf in there. And they were just nonchalant, because again, dreams, nightmares can be crazy, and you just don't even realize it. You don't realize that it's a dream or a nightmare, even though things that happen can't possibly happen. Oh, and that's what you do with lucid dreams. You train yourself to ask yourself all the time, am I in a dream? Is this a dream? And then you recognize there can't possibly be a big giant pen outside your front yard and wolves lunging at you from inside of it, where you're keeping your little tiny baby, which you wouldn't be doing anyway, because you spent your life protecting him to the best of your fucking ability. You spent the last 16.5 years protecting him to the best of your ability, including getting him away from risking your life to get him away from his daddy and daddy's enabling mother, and daddy professed to love Omar, but he wasn't concerned about his health or safety ever. He'd laugh if Omar was eating tape all over the chair. He'd laugh when Omar drank bleach and threw up. I mean, he professed to love Omar. He just loved that Omar loved him. That's all it was. He did not protect him at all. He didn't protect him. Didn't protect him. Including when I told him, don't you ever in the 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning and late at night walk through the alleyway with our beautiful pugs. They go on the black market. They're almost the cutest fucking pug you can imagine. He was the cutest fucking pug. Okay, even cuter in my honest opinion. And even other people he looked different than other pugs. He was different. He's purebred. He's AKC. We never met his parents. His owner met us. We didn't go all the way to their place. But anyway, Hope drove, of course. Donald and I didn't drive, so didn't have a car, didn't drive, and pretty much the same fucking reasons. I wouldn't have known that until after I got to know Donald, but it doesn't matter. I wasn't gonna be driving anyway, can't afford it, and Donald wasn't gonna be driving for reasons that you might be able to imagine, or not, who knows, because he could have borrowed his mom's car, and technically so could I if I was gonna drive, okay? Anyhow, don't you dare walk through the alley all alone at night. I'm a big guy. Remember, Donald towers over me about 5 inches. I'm 5'9", and bare feet, I'm 22, okay? But he put on the weight. He'd gotten really husky, which he wasn't when I first encountered him. Right? Wouldn't have likely, been with him in the first place, which I have every right to do. I looked like I stepped off the pages of Men's Magazine, and I could choose the guy of my choosing, of my liking, okay? Especially if it's a stranger that I'm going to run off thousands of miles to be with. Anyhow, don't you dare walk through that alley at night. Don't you dare walk through that alley at night with Omar. Of course, Donald's not going to listen to anything that I say. I think I was saying it to him when I wasn't his girlfriend anymore. Anyway, I was still living there under their good graces, but I had nowhere to go, and Hope liked my mom and didn't want me out in the street or on the shelter or whatever. But, and then Donald came home one night and he's like, yeah, I was walking through the alley with Omar, and some guy was there and said something to me, wanted a cigarette, or whatever, and like you promised me you wouldn't. This might have been actually when I was still his doormat girlfriend, I think it was. I don't know. You promised me you wouldn't walk through the alley. Nobody's going to bother me. Donald, someone with a knife or a gun or gang up on you, a group of 3, could so easily do that to you just to get our pug and sell him for a lot of money. That's why you said don't ever leave him outside even for 1 second to run to the store, okay, to buy a drink, to buy whatever. You don't tie up a beautiful dog like Omar outside even for 1 split second. Back then, when we first got Omar, don't listen to me, but at the end of our foster relationship, not so much. I remember that was when Omar was still young. So I spent 16 years protecting my baby. My first son, my fur baby son, to the absolute best of my fucking ability. So we know exactly what the damn nightmare meant. We know what it meant. Anyway, one wolf lunged at me, but there was apparently more in there. And I asked the neighbor, okay, I can't get at my Omar. Is he still alive? And they seemed to think that he was, that the wolves weren't going to kill him. But of course, I can't get anywhere near him when vicious wolves have taken over his pen and made it their lair or their den or whatever. Weird. Very vivid. Remember, it took place in this neighborhood, in this house, I walk out front. So the only thing different about anything is the giant pen that I was keeping my baby out in the yard, which obviously I would never do. I mean, it could never happen, and it could have turned lucid if I wasn't so distraught. Okay, could have easily turned lucid if I wasn't so distraught, and if I was still training myself to ask myself, is this a dream? You train yourself periodically through the day to be asking yourself, is this a dream? So then when you're having weird fucking crap happen in a dream or a nightmare, you could say to yourself, is this a dream? And you'll realize it's a dream because it couldn't possibly happen in real life. Like people just suddenly flying into the air. Well, people can't fly. It has to be a dream, right? Um, I'm sorry, but nobody's going to keep a giant pen in their front yard with their little tiny 13-pound dog where coyotes could get in there and kill the dog. I mean, but also it was an open pen, gigantic, took up the whole yard, and there are no wolves around here. Even that itself, there would be no wolves here. Okay, not even in Massachusetts, let alone around. There's no wolves. Period. There are coyotes. There are foxes, probably. There are things. There are definitely wild turkeys and rabbits, and but no wolves